Now, if the opening is coming, we made our conditions very clear. We said, first of all, there must be protective equipment for our teachers. That is, they need to have masks. We need to put provision for social distancing in schools. We have to put the issues of sanitation in schools. It's a very, very important issue. So as schools begin, sanitation must be very important. We have hand washing facilities. So if those facilities are not there, they have to be provided for every school that is going to open. And I think the Ministry of Education has been working on that. And we need more sensitization to our teachers, because they are the ones who will be handling these children and also who will be affected. So, and the class sizes is also an important intervention we are calling upon. Class must be a reasonable size where the children must be allowed to keep distance from one another. Then the teachers also must be protected. I think even methods of teaching must change. You are not supposed to go around touching every book and so on and so on and so forth. We need to look at those issues, but the most important thing we are calling upon is that we need adequate training through our unions, through our teachers' organizations, to ensure that by the time the schools open, everybody is versed on what he's supposed to do, so that education can go on alongside the pandemic and its challenges. So those are some of the interventions we are talking about. Training is extremely important, and physical facilities must also be available. Money must be put in these institutions where candidate classes are going to start studying, because the physical facilities must be there, class sizes, so that whatever is missing, money must be injected into that in that direction to ensure that the required standard operating procedures are in place. Then, of course, there must be monitoring, which is very important. At times, you put procedures, you put operation standards, but people don't observe them. They neglect them deliberately. So as unions, we are saying there must be a mechanism to enforce and monitor the observance of the standard operating procedures as schools open. But if all our teachers are not happy, if all our teachers are not taken care of, we can't think about only teachers on government payroll. We have to think about teachers in private institutions where these candidate classes are going to start studying. Okay. If the teachers are tested, it also becomes mandatory that the children also must be tested. So there must be testing kits in these schools. So a lot of money must also go in procuring these testing kits, so that at some interval, the teachers are tested and other support staff within the school, not only teachers. But the children also must be tested. Now, we are beginning with a smaller number of learners, candidate classes. That means if the school has been having about 1,000 learners, when all the classes are ongoing, it means if we go with candidate classes, you might find they can be around 50 or less than 100. So there must be testing kits for all those learners. But another challenge is the movement, those going home, those coming back. I think a policy must be designed to ensure that there is
that government is proposing go to be in boarding section.
Yeah, I think that one is also very, very wise, because if people continue interacting with the rest of the community where the control measures cannot be enforced fully, then we have a risk of one person coming into the school and infecting others through negligence on observing the standard operating procedures. So if there was provision for all those candidate classes to begin as borders, then that one can also help and can save many lives from infections and from the eventual effects of the COVID-19. But I think that one will also help us. So we feel that the boarding has to be there. But also, as teachers, we are supposed to be innovative. We are not supposed to keep looking on and waiting for advices from the Ministry of Health and government. But also, as teachers, one of our important roles is that we are supposed to be innovative. How do we put in new mechanisms of passing on education, continuing education, without necessarily congesting in classes, without necessarily people moving from here and there? So the importance of technology must be employed so that we can have distance learning. Then we need to think about new forms of bringing learners together, not necessarily in these schools of 1,000, 5,000. We need to look at some of the innovations where education can even be passed on, even in the local area, in the local setup, in villages. Because now some children will move some distance. That one is okay. So we need to see how we can control that one. Some people don't want to lose money. They don't want to lose business. They want children to go there and congest. For them, they get profit. they don't mind who is infected, they don't mind who dies. So I think something must be designed, and we are designing it already as teachers, to ensure that new mechanisms of learning must be thought out and must be employed so that we can live alongside the pandemic, COVID-19, but also have education going on. For us, we are concerned about our children who are getting pregnant day by day, especially girls, of course girls. Then the boys are also losing out completely because they are going to very other funny odd jobs. Some of them are taking into drugs and so on. So we are losing a generation. So we cannot wait. We need to work very hard to ensure that the education providers put in place a mechanism to handle the emergencies that are coming up.
As unions, we would rather say government has an extra mile to go before opening schools. We have been seeing the government running supplementary budgets. Suppose they went into Parliament to pass a supplementary budget to further support our children, either by half fee